Hello everyone, my name is Jerry Eric. I am a product representative for the GoTx pigment ink printers. Welcome to this virtual demonstration. It's very good to have you with us here today. Before I do get started, I would like to quickly say thanks to the hard-working team at FESPA for enabling us to show our product today. I think we can all recognise that during this pandemic, their more traditional methods of showcasing product has simply not been possible. So yeah, we do appreciate their efforts to develop this virtual platform. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us today. We can see that many of you who have pre-registered for this event are all deeply involved in the textile printing industry, and I'm sure you already have a very good understanding of the business of printed fabrics, and you'll know where the growth opportunities are in the market sector that is worth an estimated $250 billion per year. Now, interestingly, research shows that in the coming few years, natural fabric printing will account for well over 40% of this $250 billion total, and projections show that the use of pigmented inks for fabric printing will continue to increase over the coming decades, and that's exactly where our GoTx printer comes into the picture. During this presentation, we will demonstrate some of the features and user-friendliness of the GoTx 4190 and the GoTx FX fixation device that's paired together with the printer. And we'll also share with you some of the trending topics that we are frequently discussing with people from within the printing community. So let's start by taking a look at the printer itself. The machine has a maximum print width of 190 centimeters, and this will easily accommodate the available natural fabrics, which are generally available on 150 to 180 centimeter wide rolls. So therefore, there really is no fabric width limitation on the GoTx printer. The fabric feeding system can support up to 80 kilograms in weight, and the outside roll diameter is 30 centimeters. Now, I'm sure that everyone understands that fabrics are not a stable media, and that fabric tensioning is obviously a really important part. We control this using some specially engineered roller systems. There are two at the front of the machine and two at the rear of the machine. These rollers will handle all your natural fabrics such as terry cloth, jersey, cotton, poplins, and so on, and this will include two-way stretch fabrics, either woven or knitted. The roller system actually is 100% maintenance-free. It requires no cleaning whatsoever. The surface of the rollers actually grip onto the fabric. This holds the fabric tight, but the fabric doesn't stick to the rollers, and therefore no cleaning is required. This results in greater uptime. It quite literally means that the machine is ready to print the very moment that you are. The rollers are driven by an ultra-precise servo drive system, and they are then interlinked through a gearing system that deliver perfect fabric movement without any side-to-side fabric shifting, and rewinding accuracy is guaranteed across the full length of your roll. The heater element at the front of the machine, this ensures that ink is dry before it's rewound, and therefore avoids inks transferring off the printed side and onto the back side of the fabric as it's wound up. The machine and heater system work on a standard single-phase power supply, so no three-phase is required to run this machine. The machine is configured with 4 staggered precision core print heads. These heads either deliver incredibly high production speeds of 200 millimeters per hour when they're set up with CMYK ink configuration, or the machine can be set up with an expanded colour set for greater colour gamut, using obviously the CMYK colours, and we then introduce orange, violet, red and grey, and this will give you a production capacity of around 100 millimeters per hour. The print heads deliver an ink drop range from 2.5 picolitre through to 21 picolitre, and that is all controlled through pre-configured print modes from within the RIP software. The range in ink drop size means that you can in fact reproduce photo quality images direct onto textile, but it also means that as the fabrics you print will vary from heavier cotton drill through to perhaps very sheer see-through fabrics, the amount of ink you deposit also needs to vary to get the best possible results. The machine is equipped with an ink gutter that collects ink for when you are printing on these sheer fabrics. Ink droplets can strike through thin fabric, and this will collect in the gutter, and therefore we avoid any smearing of ink across the fabric. And again, this gutter means less cleaning of the fabric feeding system, and once again it means the machine is ready to print when you are. Probably the most critical component of any inkjet printer device is the ink delivery system, and on the GoTx printer the ink is delivered via a degassed 1 litre ink bag. This is fed into a sub-tank which regulates ink flow and importantly the ink pressure. The ink is then fed down through a damper filtration system and finally to the printhead itself. You probably understand that the operating environment, things such as temperature and humidity, is really important, and realistically the GoTx is no exception to that rule. But the fact that our inks are bagged, degassed, filtered and pressurized means that you have a far bigger window in which the printer will perform perfectly. The ink itself is made to our specific formulation. As a company, we have over 17 years experience working with and formulating pigmented inks, and this really is the key to our success. We are confident that our inks deliver the absolute best performance, and not just in terms of stability inside the printer itself. When it comes to ink, that really is only a part of the equation. The ink also offers extremely deep black, red and orange color output, which is often where pigmented inks lack intensity. And I think you might be very surprised to see just how closely our inks compare with reactive inks. And of course, the inks have to offer good wash fastness, good soft hand feel, excellent crock rating, and they need to meet global standards such as GoTx or GoTx and GoTx, which they in fact do. Taking a quick look at the RIP software, the RIP is fully integrated and configured with the GoTx machine. And we spend an incredible amount of time on creating the best possible ICC profiles for both optic and non-optic fabrics, as well as natural-based fabrics. We feel these profiles and print modes deliver the best balance in terms of print quality and speed. This means an operator can simply load a print file, choose a print mode, apply and step and repeat, which will automatically tile a graphic and send the job to print. Of course, we understand that some owner-operators want to play a little with the print output, and that is entirely possible. You will have complete access to manipulate the output through the back end of the RIP. Obviously, that would require some additional guidance from us to take you through that process, and our support teams are there for that. So essentially, the RIP is either a plug-and-play system or it's completely customizable in terms of the print output. Now, the RIP can even integrate with a complete web-to-print e-commerce platform. It can integrate with barcode scanning, job tracking, shipment and payment gateways, and so on. So if you are looking for a full web-to-print solution, then I'm very confident that the GoTx paired with the RIP will meet your expectations. Taking a quick look at the fixation device, pigmented inks generally require a curing temperature of around 160 to 170 degrees, and it needs to hold that temperature for approximately 1 minute. There are heater elements on both the top side and bottom side of the fabric. This ensures total heat penetration as the fabric moves through the heater chamber. These work on an off-contact basis, meaning that the fabric does not actually touch the element. This removes the harshness of high temperatures directly touching the fabric, and it actually allows the ink to retain its brightness. Steam is extracted and vented out through the machine, and the fabric unwind, rewind and tensioning system is identical to that of the printer, ensuring perfect fabric feeding and rewinding. It's a simple set and forget type device. Once it's set up, you really never need to adjust any of the controls. You simply load rolls of fabric and they come out perfectly cured. So to sum all that up, the inks, the feeding system, the RIP, the fixation system, they're all designed to work together and deliver outstanding print results on natural fabrics with a predictable and repeatable outcome. So let's now talk a little about what we see and hear in terms of industry trends. And it's probably no surprise to you that sustainability is one topic of concern that we hear about on literally a daily basis. And this might be of particular interest to you also. Now, the GoTx 4190 actually goes a really long way to offer solutions and answers to this very important question. So, going back to the design of the feeding system that we talked about earlier, you only need about 40 centimeters of fabric to drape across the two front feed rollers and the system is ready to print. There is no need to completely web up the system. This significantly reduces fabric waste and associated costs. However, when you think about that, it also means you can cost-effectively print production runs of just 1 meter. And with the increasing popularity of the web-to-print business model, whereby printed fabrics are sold through a website platform, and these are often orders in smaller print lengths, this feeding system actually adds value to your business through reduced waste, improved workflow, but importantly, on the GoTx system, it is actually commercially viable to print short volumes on demand. Additional environmental benefits are the simplicity of the pigment ink workflows. We simply print the fabric, we cure the fabric, and the product's ready to be shipped. There is a significant reduction in water waste, a reduction in expensive electricity consumption, and a reduction in total carbon footprint. And these are just the obvious sustainability factors. We can go deeply into the environmental impact of traditional print methods such as soil acidification and chemical and particulate matter that go into our rivers and oceans and so on. So yeah, we have seen a remarkable change in people's buying habits. I think an increase in social awareness around the topic of sustainability will continue to push that subject of sustainability, and therefore digital demand will continue to grow for many years to come. Now, particularly as the printers become faster and the capital investment for these devices become a lot lower, digitally printed fabrics are not only viable in small volume production, the viability cutoff point for large volume printed textile becomes exponentially bigger, and this will continue to drive consumers towards sustainably digitally printed fabrics. Another trend that we see is that digital technologies is changing the fashion cycle for both wearables and home decor. On-demand digital production is enabling designers to produce textiles in small quantity. They have a lot more flexibility and therefore are able to experiment more with their graphic design. They can produce one-off unique garments for what is now known as fast fashion. Designers can create home decor pieces like cushions or curtains, throw rugs, right through to ironing board covers that might reflect the change in seasons as an example. So in our minds, digital technologies enables creativity and individualism to thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, this just about concludes today's demonstration. If you do want to learn a little more, you can always find more information on our website and social media feeds. We have product representatives who can answer your questions. If you wanted to take things a little step further, I recommend we do some sample printing for you, or we can even send you one of our pre-prepared sample packs. And our European demonstration centre is located in the Netherlands, just 20 minutes outside of Amsterdam. Given there are no travel restrictions, you are most welcome to pay us a visit there. Coffee's always ready. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, and we do hope that this has given you some insights into our GoTx printer and the market trends, and we wish you all the best with your textile printing projects. Thank you.